Strength, we're increasing strength. Okay? Multiple studies have shown increase in motor unit recruitment, increase in motor unit synchronization, just by doing those isometrics. Okay? We have decreased joint and muscle stress. Okay? Most of DOMS comes from eccentric stress. Okay? So instead of doing those dynamic movements, say we did 10 reps, 10 eccentric contractions, we've only got one getting into that position, okay, holding it, then we're done that set. We've greatly decreased the stress. And when we have someone who's never trained before, okay, we got to slowly introduce that stress. Otherwise, we're going to lose them on day one. Okay? Decreased stress. Psychological, we're building a little mental toughness. Okay, it's not easy being in that bottom position, in that tough position for 30 seconds. Okay, firmly believe training helps increase that. Okay, and probably the biggest thing is that it's safe. Okay, we're using lightened loads. Okay, we're using movements that we're not going through that full range of motion yet. Okay, we're starting slow. We've got incoming freshmen. They're not in front of me. They're at home training. Okay, the program I give them needs to be safe. Okay, they can't show up injured. Okay, they got to show up ready to go. Okay. Question I always get is, okay, well, I've got someone who's, you know, been in a high school weight program for 2-3 years. Okay, this stuff's way too below them. Okay, maybe worst case scenario, we've been neutral for 3 weeks. Maybe they didn't get stronger. Maybe their movement was perfect already. Okay, I did not hurt them. Okay, they're just as good as they are now as they were 3 weeks ago. Okay, well, like I said, we've got these athletes 4 years plus. We'll get to the heavy stuff. Okay, negatives. Maybe it's a little boring. Okay. We've got these athletes, you know, they're going to be college athletes. It's our first strength training program, and I'm going to hold something for 30 seconds. Okay? I do explain the why. You know, I really think the why dictates, you know, how hard they train, so we've got to explain to them why we're doing this. It's only for 3 weeks. It's going to be okay. Okay? You'll find it's actually a little tougher than you ever thought it was. And by the end of the 4 years, we'll have done so much normal training that you'd love something different anyways. Okay? So those athletes have to show intent. They have to work hard at it. Okay? They have to try to get that perfect posture. They have to keep those positions. Okay? So we're doing a little bit of, you know, putting a little trust in their hands. Okay? We're only getting stability and strength at one specific joint angle. Okay? That's totally true. But it's the most difficult joint angle. Okay? So we kind of counteract that. Okay. This is just showing what they need to achieve in order to move on. Okay. So a lot of it's, you know, just a body weight thing. So I don't want, you know, the goal isn't to have them training like this forever. Okay. It's to get that proper movement. Okay. All these have to be done with good movement. If someone has, you know, a worry of, I'm not sure if I'm doing this right, we've got such great technology right now. You use your phone to videotape yourself for 5 seconds, send it to me. We can tell you pretty quick. Okay. So again, this is just stuff that I've found is about what we need in order to say, hey, you've graduated from this and you can move on. Okay. What do we move on to? Okay. So we've got phase 1 isometrics. Okay. We've also got a phase 2. Okay. So we call this quasi-isometrics or 5-5-5 holds. Okay. So now we're going to keep doing holds. They're going to be shorter, and we're going to do them at multiple positions. Okay. So we're going to hold at the top of the movement for 5 seconds. Hold right in the middle of that movement for 5 seconds. Hold at that bottom position for 5 seconds. So we haven't gone from holds to straight, complete dynamic movement. We've got a nice intermediate step. Okay. We've got the same benefits. We're still improving mobility. Okay. We're still improving stability. Now we're just increasing, especially the amount of stability, because we're changing that range of motion. Okay. They need more dynamic muscle control. same movements. Okay, same movement patterns. They will do these movement patterns for the entire collegiate career at Michigan Tech. Okay, so we're still going to do our knee dominant. We're still going to do our upper body pull. Now we're just changing how we do them. Okay, again, 2 to 4 sets. Okay, if we need a single leg movement, anywhere from 2 reps where it'll be 30 seconds because each rep takes 15 seconds. Okay, up to 4. Okay, which would be 60. We can get a little bit heavier with these. We can get up to 50% of our 1 RM because we're not just holding one position. Again, 3 to 6 weeks, and we use the exact same parameters of if you can graduate from this as with the isometric holds. We want you doing it for at least 3 weeks. Okay, if you've got those numbers at the end of it, okay, now we can move on to the next phase, which I'm not going to talk about, but is our more traditional dynamic full movement training. Okay. Should mention, typically we're doing 1-to-1 work to rest ratio. Okay, so if they do a 30-second hold, they're going to do a 30-second rest, and we superset. So we do knee dominant and pull, hip dominant and push. So you'll move on to the another exercise, 30 seconds, take a rest, back, etc. Okay. So did this, worked unbelievably well with our incoming freshmen. We finally saw a change when they came in. We got that goal. Most of them came in knowing the basic lifts, having some good movement. Obviously, life wasn't perfect. We still had some issues to take care of, and now that we're one-on-one, we can do that. But we also have some current athletes with some movement issues, and they especially occur during the season. They get injured during the season. We don't get to train as much, so maybe they don't get exposed to those movements as frequently as during the off season. Okay, so what can we do to fix that? Okay, so in our postseason lifting program, okay, this is what it looks like. We'll do a quasi-isometric circuit, the 5-5-5 hold circuit, okay, every day that we lift, okay? And we're going to do a full body day. We'll do a knee dominant, a pull, a hip dominant, and a push, okay? And we do some Olympic lifting technique. We do some true strength training at the end, okay? So just adding a little bit of this into it, okay, has really cleaned up those movement patterns, giving those kids a chance to take some load off the bar, focus on movement, focus on doing it correctly. Then when we move into the off season, okay, those movements are back to 100% proficiency. Now we can load them, now we can speed them up, turn them into champions, hopefully. Okay, and then that's just the actual exercises we use, which you have on the CD. Okay, so some benefits of doing it postseason with our current athletes, our returning athletes. Okay, we're getting a bit of a body and technique reset. Okay, they've just had a hard season. We don't need to kill them. Day 1 postseason, we've got all off season to train. Okay, so we're slowly introducing training. Okay, they haven't trained at that intensity and that volume for many months. Okay, so we're slowly reintroducing that as well. So we've got decreased joint stress, decreased DOMs. Okay, it's amazing how many kids have said how better they feel doing this versus traditional training right off the bat. Okay, we work in partners when we do this, and I got a video where we'll show this a little bit, but it's an I go you go type of thing. So we've got some teamwork happening while your partner's going. You can coach posture and technique. Okay, you can encourage things like that, doing it all together in a circuit style. And on the flip side, we got some competitiveness. Okay, we're all together. Okay, it's athletes who have trained before, and some things like our push-ups and things like that, we can start yelling out, hey, this kid's doing this much weight, who thinks he can do more? Okay, so again, just bringing that team dynamic up. Okay, so video of our quasi-isometrics. Let's see if we get to. So I made a little audio thing through GarageBand. That's my voice. So I'm always, instead of having to stand in the middle of everyone and count, we just do an audio thing of me. Top, 2, 3, 4, 5, middle, 2, 3, 4, 5, bottom, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first year I did this, there was no music behind it. The kids wanted to kill me and I wanted to kill myself by the end of it. I was so sick of it, so we put a little music behind it. It's made a big difference. But you see different athletes doing different exercises because they're in a circuit. Okay? This is our women's basketball team. Okay, I'd say that's pretty good squat technique. Okay. It's amazing how much better they get at chin-ups with doing this first. Like we went from, I think, 2 of our 12 girls could do a chin-up before we did 3 weeks of this. I think 7 can do them now. And you can hear me talking, coaching technique as we go.
A little lower.
That's Ali Hayter, LEAC Player of the Year this year. He's an okay athlete.
Chest up, chest up.
He didn't need the isometric training. He was fine, but he did anyway.
There you go. Sit on that heel.
Okay. Much easier to coach this than them doing full dynamic movements. Okay, they get used to being in those postures. Okay, when we turn it into full dynamic movement, it looks a lot better. Okay, here we go. Here's hockey. There's 23 guys in this weight room. Okay, basketball is only 8
Just
to
off
10.
of it, not touching it.
2, 3, 4, 5, middle, 2, 3.
See, wouldn't you like to hear that for 25 minutes a day?
2.
When programming this, something I've learned from experience, I didn't know this off the bat, be careful about how many grip type exercises you do within each circuit. You kind of got to watch out for that. You can't do chin-ups and deadlift on the same day because you'll just hear crashing every 5 seconds.
2, 3, 4, 5, middle, 2, 3, 4, 5, bottom, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5.
See, you got guys helping each other out.
2, 3, 4.
Well, that's 60 pounds on his back. I'd have yelled that out. See if you can beat that today. We'll write it up on the board who got the most for each. Okay. Obviously, it's got to be good movement. If someone's doing too much, unload it.
Sit back flat, double chins.
2, 3, 4, 5, middle.
There you go. Good job, Jimmy. Good job, Stoney.
4, 5, bottom, 2, 3.
Let's go, Fernsey.
Hockey, of course, it has to be a Y at the end of everybody's name. You can't just